Hello, good evening. Welcome to the show. We're sitting here chilling on the front porch. Tiffany and I were talking today and just thinking about like how nice it was to just sit for just a few minutes on the front porch and listen to everything going on around us. And there's actually been a little more traffic on the road today. You may hear some cars in the background. In fact, I think I hear one coming now, but so we have a very special guest with us today. We have Meemaw. Most people know her as Bobby Jean. So we want to just talk about the title of our show today being My, How the Times Have Changed. And if we sit and interview Meemaw and just ask her about the things that went on early on in her life, and the things that she's seen that have changed, we could do well just to sit and conversate. So buckle up and join us as we interview and make conversation and just spend a little time with the lady that is very important in our lives and we value, we hold very dear. She can cook like none other, I'll tell you. Her hamburgers, by far the best. Her steaks, nobody can beat them. So we may talk about a little bit of her cooking and stuff too. And as you notice, we're kind of rocking back and forth. You can't be in a glider and not kind of move, right? So you'll see us kind of surging back and forth, right? We're just going to sit and talk it over just a little bit and while we relax and do our show. So we thank you for being with us. And those of you that catch us on the replay, we thank you as well. So here we are. Let's get started. So we have Meemaw. Meemaw is very seasoned in noticing changes throughout the world and society and things of that nature. So Meemaw, tell us a little bit about like your early school days. How were they different from what we know as school? What did your school day consist of?
Well, I had to walk a long ways to meet the bus, catch the bus when I was like 7, 8 years old. And, I don't know, we just had regular school.
You should really know what today's school is.
I don't
like.
really know what to say.
So she had to walk, and it didn't kill you to walk, did it?
No,
It probably actually made you stronger, right?
probably did.
And so when I was in school, the school bus would come by nearly every single house.
Mosquitoes.
And we took it upon ourselves to spoil the bus driver, and we would all kind of meet in groups. But if you had to actually walk to catch the bus or walk to school, my grandfather used to tell me that he walked uphill 10 miles in the snow
right.
both ways.
So what about the school year? Because now I feel like we start earlier and earlier in August. What month did you actually start the school year?
I think it was in August.
Was it?
Yeah.
I was wondering if it was September. I feel like it should be September.
So, Meemaw, did you grow up on a farm?
Yes, I did.
Most people around this area did grow up on a farm, and we're seeing that there's not as many farmers as there were back in the day, and it seems like the farmland is also shrinking, but there were private farms. Did you have to work on the farm as a kid?
Yes, I did. I picked cotton and I chopped cotton.
That's not an easy job, right?
No, it's not.
So Tiffany's mom, how old was she when she had to start picking cotton?
I don't know.
Was
She was little.
For her birthday or Christmas one year, she got a cotton sack.
Yeah.
So did you get a cotton sack for a birthday or?
Oh, no.
No, they just said.
But speaking
now's
of
the time.
birthday and Christmas, because now our kids are so spoiled for birthday and Christmas and every other holiday in life. What was Christmas like? Christmas morning. Did your parents do Santa?
Yeah. I know one night we were in the living room and we kept hearing Santa come in and out of the back door and bringing the toys in. So we had a good time with Santa Claus.
Did you? Nice. So back to the farm thing. What other kind of work did you do besides chop cotton? Did you help with like garden or anything like that?
Yeah, a little bit, some. We lived a long ways back. That's why I had to walk to the main road to catch the bus. And we lived, I guess, a mile back off of the road. And that's why that I had to walk and catch the bus at the, at the
Right, at the main road.
main road. Yeah.
So, Meemaw's seen a lot of things change over the years. We're not going to give her exact age, but we're just going to say that she's just a few years over 70. Okay, we'll be polite, huh, Meemaw? But Meemaw used to be the proud owner of a restaurant, right?
Right.
And if any of you remember Peeler's Steakhouse, y'all remember something in this town that is probably long forgotten, but we still get to reap the benefits of Peeler's Steakhouse. This lady here can cook, and there's many nights. How many times does the family show up to your house and say, "Meemaw, what you cooking for supper?"
Just about every day.
Yeah, especially our little boys. Like, I'll buy chicken fries is all they'll eat, right? Or
Right.
boxed macaroni, gross. But for some reason they don't taste the same at my house, so I stick them in Meemaw's freezer, or if she runs out and don't tell me, she'll go get some. But
that's another
they
thing.
don't taste the same here.
Is Meemaw's homemade macaroni and cheese.
It's heavenly.
I haven't made that in a while.
You should put it on your list. Yeah. So some days though, because we literally live in her backyard, so some days when I'm like not in the mood to cook, or if I want something fried, then I bring it to you.
Meemaw's is the place.
Yeah. If I just don't want to cook supper, I'll have something thawed out and I'll bring it to her. I'm like, Meemaw, you should cook this for us tonight. And she never says no.
So that's another thing, is that Meemaw, in all of her recipes and everything that she cooks, like, there's nothing anywhere else. There's not a restaurant that has anything that they cook it and it does not taste the same as hers.
No.
And she doesn't have to pull out a cookbook, and she'll just be like, "Oh, okay, let's do this, do this, do this." And that's the difference. Like me, I can cook. I can follow directions like a champ. I can get on Pinterest or something like that, and I can look up a recipe and I can make it. But Meemaw has probably forgotten more recipes than I know.
Yeah. Right.
But her cakes and her pies, oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Like, anytime Meemaw cooks, that's another difference. That's another thing that has changed. It's just the ability to provide in the home and cook like she does.
So this is a different subject.
Okay, go ahead.
But yesterday we were talking because I ordered a new pair of blue jeans and they came with holes in them. So she comes out to the house and holds them up. And so, Meemaw, did you allow your little boys to wear pants with holes in them?
No. I put patches over them.
Right.
I thought that's what you were supposed to do. And when I went to work in the fields, I wouldn't dare wear jeans with holes in them like y'all wear.
Yeah.
So see, that's another thing. While we're looking at how the times have changed, you wouldn't even go to work in the fields picking and chopping cotton in a pair of jeans or a pair of pants that had a hole
Holes
in
all in them.
And so I made fun of Tiffany the other day when she got these jeans. Both knees had a big hole in them. And she's like, "Look, I got these new jeans." And of course, me picking at her, I said, "What? Did they drag somebody behind a truck to wear out the knees to give them to
now
you, or
you're
what?"
Gonna get us edited muted on YouTube.
What are they doing? Like, you pay for less fabric now, and it costs double or triple the amount of money. But you wouldn't be caught in the field in holy jeans,
Right.
And so, what do you think? What is your opinion of the clothes that some of these girls wear today? Go and just let us have it. Speak the truth.
Well, I don't think they ought to wear all these jeans with holes in them.
What about their booty shorts? You like their little short shorts?
No, I don't like them. I think they're just too short.
I agree.
I think the same thing for my daughter.
Yeah.
So that's not being necessarily old fashioned or
No.
anything, but that's just the whole understanding of being modest.
Right.
And I think a lot of that has just gone out the window because sex sells and everybody's buying, and they just want to put themselves out on display. They don't want to leave anything for the imagination. But also another thing is over the years, as far as the family's concerned, everybody's really busy, and everybody seems to be a little too busy for each other. So back through history, back through the times of a young family and everything that you guys had going on, how much time did you spend together?
Well, we spent a lot of time together. Our nights, we were all there, and during the day, the family was just together most of the time.
You worked together.
Worked together, yeah.
So y'all always had home cooked meals?
Yeah, we had a garden and home cooked meals, and I put stuff in the freezer and canned, and we always had vegetables, and we raised cows and hogs, and we always had meat.
Wow.
So far from that. But I also remember growing up, grandmother. So grandmother was her mom. We still went there even while she could still cook every Sunday for lunch.
Yeah.
You should do that.
No, I'm too old to do that now.
Tell her it's about time somebody else takes that torch.
Right. It's time somebody else did that.
We talked about it. We did talk about it.
So me thinking about the things of the past, even the things that have changed since I was a kid, I see that families are too busy for each other, and there's so much stuff going on in the world today. Mimo, in your opinion, do you think that because the family is not as close and they don't stick together, that maybe that's some of the cause of problems and conflicts in our world today? Think it's a breakdown in the family?
Yeah, I think it is. I don't know. The family just doesn't spend much time together, and a lot of them don't spend time with their kids.
Yep.
And in my honest opinion, we've got babies raising babies. So many folks, they say that it takes a village to raise a child, and now the parents get so bent out of shape when somebody in the village has something to say that they say, "Don't you dare speak to my child." And it's such a different mentality nowadays. Nobody wants to be accountable to anybody else, and I see that as a breakdown. But around here, we still latch on to Meemaw. We still latch on to Grandma and Grandpa, to Mom and Dad, because we're still a little old fashioned, and we like to stay close to family. We value our family time together, and I think that's what helps us be better people. I think it helps us to bring us a value to society that is nearly gone.
I have a question. Over the years, think back over all your years. What do you see now that's changed the most that you wish would go back? Like, as far as society in general, not just your life, just society in general.
I don't know. There's one thing I can talk about I think about a lot is where I lived and how I lived and what I had and what y'all or the great grandkids, either one could not comprehend. how life was then. When I got married and I lived on the farm, and I lived in a 3-room house. No, then didn't have air conditioning, and we in the winter it was really cold.
So
But
I
we-
do remember, interrupt right here for just a second. I do remember Dennis telling me that y'all lived in a house that was so cold one night that his little brother Rick, his bottle froze in his bed with him.
Yeah,
one night.
that wasn't there. That was somewhere else. That was
It was tough.
yeah,
Right?
yeah, and it was in this bedroom. Well, me and Dennis and Rick, we were sleeping in bed together, and I had his bottle laying up on the pillow up there, and it was froze the next morning.
Gosh.
A lot of folks out here listening today or on the replay, they don't know those kind of times. That there's so many folks now that even in the church house, the churches didn't have air conditioning, and they would raise the windows, and folks would come in and they would fan and they would sit
Yeah,
for at least an hour.
yeah.
And now church service starts running. The sermon runs more than 30 minutes, and folks are checking their watch.
Did you have indoor plumbing?
No indoor plumbing for 10 years. 2 babies, no indoor plumbing, no indoor bathroom. And when I wash clothes, well, I had a washing machine out on the back porch,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to go out to the well, draw the water out of the well, and pour it in the washing machine.
And
That was that. I think about all that. I think, how in the world did I do all that?
But then that's all you knew, so it didn't seem.
I didn't
so
know
hard.
it. Yeah, I didn't know any different. You know.
So how does that make you feel when people have it made these days and they complain about their house is not big enough or their car is not nice enough? What kind of vehicle did you have?
Well, I think, well, they just need to know how people used to have to do and appreciate everything that they have now.
Right.
so if we were to erase or rewrite history, how would they know? Right?
They
We
would.
have history to learn from it, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of these folks, they take everyday life for granted and don't understand just really what our parents and grandparents and great grandparents really went through just in a small portion of time, how much things have changed and how much greater life is and how much easier life is. And we still have so many folks that want it even easier than it is.
But
They
do you
complain.
think that people having it so easy these days, it's made them kind of lazy?
Yeah, I think so.
Because I don't think that there's really a person out there that could live that lifestyle that y'all have.
No,
to
they
live.
couldn't do it if they had to
No.
go back, if they had to live that lifestyle.
Right. Because I know we go like tent camping sometimes, and roughing it for 3 or 4 days is enough for me. But that's like roughing it all the time.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And 3 or 4 days, like I love to cook while we're camping. I love the outdoors. I love being outside. I love just the simplicity because you get to shut everything down and you say, okay, look, my grandfather and my great grandfather, they were able to survive this way,
Yeah.
not just to take a break and have a weekend of
I
this.
want to go do that.
Yeah, right. So they look at you and go, camping? Well, that's normal life for us.
Right.
Like that's not a vacation. You're just living life in another spot. But I think it's great. Like I think everybody should have to go camping at least once a year to understand how great life is.
Yeah.
But to appreciate the things that are out there and respect where things come from.
Everything then was, it was just, I don't know. Everything was slow. You wasn't rushing nowhere to do anything,
Mm-hmm.
and life was just just simple.
Yeah.
You know?
You didn't have cell phone back then either, did you?
Uh-uh.
when when did y'all get the first phone in the house?
Well, we got married in 1950, and phones had just been put in. You know, my mother and daddy had just got a phone not long before. No, I was 16 years old, and they had just got a phone.
That's crazy.
So you didn't run around with a phone in your pocket.
No.
But she does now.
Yes, she does now. So like, and it was different. It wasn't like you just picked it up and dialed. Like you had an operator and stuff like that, right? The party line came around.
Yeah.
And, like folks shared the phone line.
Yeah.
So if you picked it up, you could listen to your neighbor's conversation down the road. And so we see where a lot of the gossip came from. A lot of that went on.
This is another change of subject, but because you are Meemaw and I live next door to you, we moved here when I was 15, so I've lived here a long time. And I know when we would always ride four-wheelers or ponies or anything, and you were telling us to be careful and to slow down and to put our helmets on, but then Daddy tells us all these stories where they rode horses all over the town and he rode motorcycles all over the town. So was it just different then, like with, I guess because things weren't so dangerous, there weren't as many cars on the road, maybe? Or you just always been that overprotective?
Well, I've always been overprotective, I guess. I know I have too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's different now. So like when my kids, because Jacob's old enough to drive now, leave, then you're like, hon, should he be going there? I guess it's just different times.
That's just me, I guess.
But we love that Meemaw is a little overprotective because she still has a concern for everything. You know, making sure that we're going to be okay, making sure that that we pay attention, and that's the love and the value that she brings to our family. And so while we're wrapping this up, Meemaw, we thank you so much for just taking us through a quick journey of what things used to be and how life has so evolved from back even in the 50s. So I want many people to just think about how complicated life is, but how complicated we've made it.
Yeah. So like back in the day, it was harder work, but it was slower pace. Mm-hmm. And now we've tried to make things so easy that we've just made them more difficult because we're lazy and can't function.
Right.
Like for real.
Yeah. All right. So anything last, Tiff?
I don't think so, unless you just go find you a Meemaw if you have one, or I mean, maybe there's a little old lady next door. Just go sit down and talk to them.
Well, I'm so thankful for all of y'all being so good to me. I'm really blessed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, we love you, Barb.
That's what she calls me, Barb.
She loves it.
All right. So we thank y'all so much for watching this evening. Thank y'all for all your support, and just, you know, give Meemaw a hand. Thank her for being here, because this new technology stuff, she's not real used to it, and probably likes herself on camera. And she'll probably not listen to her voice, but we want her stories. Just been so dear to us. So we love you, Meemaw. And those of y'all, thank you. Y'all have a great night.